This stream is intended for a mature audience only. This is a game of personal and political horror which involves mature subject matter. Descriptions of violence, gore, terror, sexual situations, explicit and foul language will occur. Viewer discretion is advised. This game revolves around a dark horror theme and contains content that may be an emotional trigger for some audience members. Please keep in mind that this is a work of fiction. The views and actions of the characters are not explicitly the views or actions of the actual players. At no time should any of the violence or horror portrayed in our game be attempted by anyone at any time for any reason.
I never loved you, but I will see you forever.
Not speaking for all of us, but some of us are the masters of death. I don't see why we need a second opinion, but if you must, you keep things well and ordered.
Tim presses the button.
This is my cousin's lab, and he doesn't like things touched. He doesn't like that place. He doesn't like things messed up. I like to keep him happy. He has these tendencies. I don't like to piss him off.
There's a rule. Favor for a favor. Ask for a task. Duty for a duty. We can get you blood, but then you owe us.
It's like you're walking and talking 2 cheeseburgers. But all you want is a cheeseburger. And you have to sit here and talk and be normal with cheeseburgers.
This is a dream. You can't wake up. Come on. You know you had these things like you fell off the edge and then you never hit the floor because then you wake up. This is a dream, you know. Drinking blood? Is this some kind of a cult?
I'm still thirsty.
You're always going to be thirsty.
I just need... I need another one.
That's what you're always going to say, dear.
Yes. Soon enough, you will forget.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. Again, I am Sylvanov, aka the Dark Druid, David Legan, your storyteller. And before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to our players for the evening. If you'll please start from top and work our way around the board here.
Good evening, everybody. My name's SailIrish on Twitch, and I'll be playing Javier Grillo.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ravinia, and I'm playing Dr. Janet Weiss.
Hey, I'm Chase, our Black Coffee Chase, playing Jude St. Germain.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name's Trevor Chapman. I go by Ratnef on almost all social media, and I will be playing Ricardo Rico Suede.
I'm Mark, just Mark, and I'll be playing Luke Lennox tonight.
I am Michael Walsh, also known as Ventru1399 on the interwebs. I'll be playing Carlisle Jacob Milliner.
Hi, I'm Ashe Daniels, and I'll be playing Jacqueline Dearie, aka Jax.
If you didn't read the disclaimer ahead of time or didn't listen to it, this is a stream that is meant for adults with mature themes, emotional triggers. Some very edgy stuff will definitely occur from time to time. And if you have problems with those things, feel free to mute us, click off, or rejoin us when a scene ends. We hope that you all are having a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining us for the inaugural episode of Season 2. Cheers, viewers. We will get right to it. Our scene starts at Mr. Milliner's office. A unfortunate occurrence happened during a visit with Dr. Janet Weiss. The 1970s outdated decor of the otherwise workable office tends to keep Mr. Milliner focused. The details are drab. It's bland, but concise, neat, executive, orderly. Things seem to be as they should. Aside from the two of them obviously recoiling or recovering from an event but a few minutes ago, we have Mr. Milliner placing a glass of recently quaffed blood down on his desk, taking Janet Weiss by the arm and sort of guiding her back out. And with that, I will leave it to our players.
I would turn around and lock the door behind me, obviously offering my arm.
Weiss will take it a little shakily, still wiping her face a little.
It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Like I said, what happens in my office stays in my office.
All right.
We do have that confidentiality, thing in common. So I would make my way down the uncambered hallway, and then I'm assuming the hospital has specific districts for specialties, so I would be heading towards psychology to escort her back to her office. Yeah.
As you make your way down the hallway, a pair of unmistakable footsteps precede you, one heavier than the other. The voice, probably not unmistakable. Rico's got a bit of a voice, as does the person he's with, whom you can't place it immediately, but you could swear that you've heard the voice. You're just not entirely sure as they round the corner. If the four of you, Milliner, Weiss, Rico, and Javier, would in turn describe for our viewing audience who we are now looking at. We'll start with Javier.
I didn't catch that last bit. I'm sorry. I was cutting in and out.
Would you kindly describe yourself to our viewing audience and to our players so that we know what you look like?
Oh, apologies. So Javier is slightly under 6 foot. He's wearing a red guayabera, a straw hat. It's generally light complected, facial hairs, usually carrying around a cigar, and is well dressed, but not too well dressed.
Dr. Weiss?
Dr. Weiss is about 5'6", blonde hair. Normally she's in a full-scale lab coat. The lab coat is partially undone right now. Her face is a little haggard looking. She always seems to have her notebook and pen in her pocket. And she's wearing a lovely black pencil skirt for the evening and heels.
And if one were to look closely enough, or even pass closely, the smell of blood might emanate from both Dr. Weiss and CJ Milliner. Likewise, Rico, being closer and leading the way, you may even notice that there's probably a drop or two around the collar of her shirt that are lightly fused into the color of her shirt. But something's occurred. The two of them seem close but distant.
Rico is a man of about 5'6", not very tall, very thin, wearing a brown leather jacket that's probably been around for decades. It's incredibly subtle and faded. Has a match in his mouth. Wears tight blue jeans over top of cowboy boots and is an extremely handsome individual. Hey, boss.
And Carlisle would be around 5'7", slightly husky, in a black button-down, red tie, silk sticking out of his pocket, black pendant that stands out in front of his tie, phone on his hip, earpiece in, business as usual. Well, Rico, it's not like I couldn't hear you coming from a mile away.
You got to make an appearance, boss. Oh, they told me to bring Javier. Javier, here's the boss.
And I did.
Hola.
How are you, cousin?
I'm well. And yourself?
I'm all right. I'm handling myself. May I present Dr. Janet Weiss?
Dr. Weiss, mucho gusto.
Encantada.
This is Javier Grillo, another cousin.
The family seems to be getting bigger.
Yeah, it has those tendencies.
We have our moments.
This is very true. So thank you for attending. We do have a conversation that we need to have later. However, I am going to make a quick trip to escort the good doctor to her office. She is more than welcome to tag along, of course.
My paperwork is fairly in order. I mean, I do have a small errand, but it's all right. How's the car, Rico?
Rosalita's good as always.
Dr. Weiss, in the moment, there's a thought crosses your mind that maybe you shouldn't be by yourself at this moment. A lot has happened in the last couple hours. There's that thing, that real thing that happened with Mr. Milliner. Your look, your words.
She does seem to grip Carlisle's arm a little tighter.
You would lay a reassuring hand over hers.
I can tag along. We can avoid the cheeseburgers for now.
Mentioning the cheeseburgers, can everybody please make a rouse check for the evening?
You're more than welcome to preference cheeseburger.
And Luke, a rouse check is simply rolling a blood die to see if you gain hunger.
Yeah, I'm a little bit hungrier tonight.
Excellent.
Yeah.
If If you fail, please mark the hunger on your character sheet.
Yeah.
So we only had one fail?
Yeah, I mean, you only roll one dice for a rouse check usually, correct?
Right, I was just referring to everyone else. Everyone else succeeded, including you, Jax? Okay, awesome.
Oh, unlucky.
Then, since almost all of the guests have arrived, I'm going to make a quick phone call to good cousin Jude.
Do you take everybody back to your office? Or
No.
you just do it while you're standing in the hall?
Right in the hall.
Okay. Jude, down in your wonderful workspace, that dark, foreboding, wonderfully macabre and dark place, beneath a hospital of nothing but waiting souls to be gathered. 5 stories of patients waiting for a virus, a cancer, a bad doctor maybe, a jealous lover to pull a cord. You can sense them all. The nurses, the doctors, patients, especially those that might be teetering on the threshold of this life and the next. The rudeness of your bell interrupts your thoughts. The red light flashes.
Hello?
You'll just hear like heavy breathing for a second.
Ah, I see your temperament does not deceive you, cousin. Our guest of honor has arrived. If you don't mind having company.
Bring them down.
As you wish. Alrighty then. Let's head on down.
He's on down the road.
Mr. Milliner, with Dr. Weiss in arm, turns the corner, heads into the hospital proper, looking for the elevator that leads down. With Rico, Dr. Weiss, and Javier in tow, Jacqueline, arriving at Dr. Weiss's office for what she thought was surely her time for an appointment. Finding the lights out, nobody's answering the door. She's not in there.
So strange. She's usually always on time. I hope she's okay. And I'm just gonna look around and check out my surroundings for a bit.
It's her office. It's the psych clinic, just behind the hospital. She kind of floats between there and the wards in the hospital when she has patients to see. You know this. You've been seeing her for a while now. It's been 6 months since that day, that promised day. God, what a promise it was. And what a failure. She's not here. It feels like, did you get the time wrong? Are you failing? Where is she? The thoughts start to roll.
I start to pace back and forth by the door. Where could she be? Am I late? No way. I try my best to be here on time. I know how important it is to her. Where could she be? Where could she be?
It occurs that maybe she's seen a patient at the hospital. Maybe she got hung up. Maybe she had to take a little extra time. The voice in the back of your mind, it scratches a little. It says, no, go find her. Do it quietly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look for her. Maybe she's not far. I'm gonna start wandering around. And I have my arms kind of crossed over me, protectively looking around, anxious, because this appointment's really important, and I have things that I need to talk about. She wouldn't miss this appointment. There's no way.
As you look about the office that she generally inhabits, there's no other tenants in this particular part of the building. It doesn't take you long to figure out that you seem to be the only one at this ward, and she's probably definitely at the hospital. She's got to be at the hospital. Why would she leave? You were expected.
I'm gonna go check the hospital.
It's across the parking lot. It's a short jaunt. Let yourself in through, any of the many entrances. The emergency room usually is a good one because that's always open. And you can simply make your way to wherever it is you plan on going, or even finding someone to ask if they've seen or heard from her.
I'm gonna find the nearest person.
Oh, that's simple. Where are you going into the hospital? It is after hours, so the main entrance is pretty much shut down. The ER and the side entrance near the ER are the only things that are publicly accessible without some kind of access key card or keys or door code, or catching someone coming out.
Okay, then catching someone coming out is better.
Easy enough. So you kind of lurk around the back side of the hospital. It isn't long before someone comes out one of the back doors, as they usually do, to have a late night smoke, what have you. And sure enough, it seems oddly that they, again, put a rock between the door and the frame. Not unlike you've seen Dr. Weiss do from time to time. And there's that opportunity. Your eyes dart to the shadows pretty quickly. They call to you. Each one of them. There's a draw. The xenon lights over the parking lot, they cast that harsh white incandescent glare. Pushes you towards the darkness. It's almost as if you're drawn to each and every one of them as you pass. And as you pass, they seem to try and hold on to you, to not let you get into the direct light. It's a strange sensation. It's another one of those mental notes you take. There's some orderly standing by the door, just finishing putting the rock in. He lights up a smoke, leans up against the building. Yeah.
I'm gonna approach him. Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a question really quick?
Yeah.
Have you seen Dr. Weiss from the psych department?
I have no idea who that is. Do you need some kind of help? Are you in trouble, or are you okay?
No, I just have an appointment with her, and the appointment is important, but I don't know where she is, and she's usually very on time. Oh. This is very unusual for her, and I need to find her.
It's cool. Hey, relax. Tell you what, he pulls the door open. If you go down that hallway for about, 20, 30 feet, it tees off. Go to the left. You'll find a security desk down that hallway. I'm sure they'll know who this Dr. Weiss is. I'm just an orderly here. I don't know everybody. Sorry. But that's the best I can do.
Thank you. And right before I go, I take a moment to just look at him. And just can't help but check out what he's wearing, what he's doing, his behavior.
He looks fairly calm, comfortable at where he's at. He's wearing basic hospital scrubs and Crocs. Has a ID badge clipped to one of his shirt pockets on a lanyard, brown mousy hair, probably a 5 o'clock shadow on his face, maybe some bags under his eyes. He's been probably working late hours, what have you. He's an orderly. Orderlies go, it's kind of their life. They do what they're told and go about it. But he sure seems to take an interest in you. His eyes get a little brighter as you look him over. He kind of returns the look. And then he notices one of your ears poke it out from the side of your hair, and his eyes widen just a little bit. It's pretty obvious what he sees. And he pauses from it, shakes his head. I'm sorry. You know what? I gotta get back to work. He chucks his cigarette, ushers you in, and says, "Look, it's just down that hall right there, and take a left."
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna head over to the security desk.
Great plan. I'm sure they'll know, or at least can help you. And he starts high pacing it the other direction. He goes into the hall and takes a right instead of a left and disappears down any number of doors or hallways that are in a hospital maze. You go in, making the left and going a short pace. There is indeed a small security desk inside where the side entrance is to the hospital. There is a uniformed gentleman behind it, sipping on a Starbucks that's probably a couple hours too old. Seems disinterested, pretty much stares out the front door with a vacant look on his face.
I approach him. Excuse me. Hi. I'm looking for someone. A Dr. Weiss. It's really important. Have you seen her?
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. What's your name?
Jax.
Jax, you have a last name? Because everybody that's in here after 8 o'clock has to have a visitor ID or a hospital badge, and I don't see you carrying a hospital badge. Hey, tell you what, I'll get you one of those visitor badges. Would you like that?
Oh,
he seems coy, like he's trying to be accommodating as he turns a clipboard towards you with a list of names and times. Just sign right here, and I'll print you one up real quick. Do you have your ID?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was in such a rush to get here. I left my bag behind. Is there another way, possibly?
No, not after hours.
I'm one of Dr. Weiss's clients, and I really need to see her. It's really important. I've been seeing her for a while, and she knows how to help me, and I really need someone to talk to.
Are you okay?
She knows how to help me. Can you just please help me get to her? I would really appreciate it.
Tell you what, have a seat. And he motions towards a few of the nondescript hospital benches that are there in the side lobby. Have a seat. Let me see if I can get her.
Thank you so much.
Sure. And your name again?
Jax.
Last name?
Aldana.
Jax Aldana?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, just have a seat. Hold on a second. Picks up a phone, taps some stuff on the computer as he does. He pulls up whatever's on his screen. No, Dr. Weiss on call this evening. She does have an emergency number. All right. And he quickly punches a few buttons on his phone. You have no idea what he's listening to, but it's brief. He punches a few more buttons and then hangs up. If she's here, we'll hear back from her pretty soon. All right, just have a seat and you know, there's a water thing there. I mean, help yourself. Yeah, just have a seat.
Okay. Thanks. And I take a seat, but I clearly look very, anxious, and I start bobbing my knee up and down. I'm fiddling with my fingers, looking around, seeing if I can spot her, and trying to relax myself, but I definitely need to speak to her.
This side lobby is pretty typical for most hospitals. It has subtle, soothing colors. The paintings on the walls are, meant to bring people a sense of peace, if you could call it that. There's a couple of fake trees and fake potted plants there. You can tell they have that plastic shiny look to them. Dr. Weiss, as you all enter the elevator and Mr. Milliner opens a special door with a key, after the doors close, he presses a button and the elevator starts to descend. Your emergency pager alerts. And yes, people, they still have them. They still exist. They're just much smaller now. A little vibration. It's probably never gone off the entire time that you started working at the hospital, so it's kind of alerting.
She kind of jumps because it's never gone off.
Are you okay?
My pager went off.
Could be business.
Yeah.
Could be an emergency.
I pull out my phone to dial back.
Yep, the number on the pager is clearly one of the hospital main numbers. There's no special codes in the message. It's just that's a number that shows up. You dial it. Within a few moments, someone does pick up. Jacqueline, you do hear the security officer's phone ring. He picks it up. Chief Latin. Is this Dr. Weiss?
Dr. Weiss. Yep.
Oh, Dr. Weiss. There's a patient here for you. Says she really needs to talk to you. You weren't on list for being on call this evening, but we did find your number and listed in the emergency contacts. She's sitting here in the east lobby. What do you want me to do? She doesn't have ID. You know regulations. I have to log her being here. Do you want to come get her, or do you want me to take her to the psych ward, or what? And Jacqueline, you do hear him say this. He's not being loud, but he's not trying to be quiet either.
I can come get her shortly. What's her name?
You could hear him put a hand over the handset. What did you say your last name was again?
Aldana?
Jax. Oh, Aldana?
Jax. Oh, I forgot that appointment was tonight.
And hey, Doc, was that you that propped the door 2 minutes ago? Again?
No.
Okay, just checking. She's here in the east lobby. She's waiting. Hey, Jax, is it? I got Dr. Weiss on the phone. She said she'll be up in a few minutes to get you.
Great, and I jump up at that. Perfect.
And if you want to give her a visitor pass, you can. You have my permission.
Yeah, that's great, but that's not policy.
Understood.
We'll talk about it when you get here. I can't let someone just roam the hospital free after hours. You know that. I can't do that,
I
Dr. Weiss.
understand. There's security risks.
Right.
Who knows what'll happen?
We have policies and procedures for reasons. You know this.
Rules are there. Rules are
straight
and narrow.
All right, great.
I will.
I'll be here until you get here, and then I've got rounds to make and some things to do, but I'll stay with her until you come.
Thank you so much. I'll be there shortly.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Weiss.
And she closes her phone, and there's a fuck.
Everything all right?
I didn't realize I had booked an after-hours session, Carlisle.
Anybody special?
Jax.
Ah. Well.
Up in an elevator, living it up while we're going down.
I think there's no reason why one more can't be added to the party. Why don't I make a quick phone call and have her escorted down here?
That would be perfect. I didn't want to assume.
It's all good. You would make a quick phone call to Chief of Security Petty, who's in charge of the entire campus.
Rings once before it's answered. Petty.
Hey, it's Carlisle. How are you?
Hey, Carlisle. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. Been a while. How's your wife?
In labor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize that snuck around so fast. Congratulations, obviously.
Thanks.
If you'd be able to do me a quick favor.
Sure.
Who's ever at the front desk over at the ER, could you have them escort a specific individual named Jax to Dr. St. Germain's office?
In the basement?
Yes. It is very important, and I would get there myself. However, I am en route and attempting to make an appointment myself.
Yeah, hey, hold on a second. You can hear him rustle around. You hear him turn. You hear some clicks and some squeaks and... Hey, Latin. Yes, sir. Hey, you got someone in the lobby? Yeah, someone for Dr. Weiss. Hey, I just got a call from Milliner. He says escort her down to the basement. You know, St. Germain's place. There's this overly long pause. Really? Hey, look, just do what you're told. Is that okay with you? Can I be the boss today? Yes, sir. Of course. Jacqueline, you hear both sides of this conversation as he's talking on his radio. Hey, thanks. And get it done. Like now. Now? As in now. Yes, sir. Yes, Chief. Hey, Carlisle, done.
Yes. I appreciate you, and just to give you a heads up, if it's a boy, Jude's a hell of a name. Just saying.
Yeah, no.
Congratulations. Good luck. I'll call you in a couple days.
Hey,
Alexandra's great for a girl's name.
He hangs up. Jacqueline, you see the guy kind of rights himself a minute as he seems to be a little shaken by the bit of conversation he had with his obvious boss. Hey, come here.
Yeah, okay. I go over to him.
Write your name here for me, please.
Sure. And
Thanks.
I take the pen and I just do a really awful Dr. Scribble.
Yep. And he pulls out a little pad of ID badges, little stick-on kinds that you get as a visitor at a hospital. He writes Jax on it, peels it off, because put this on your shirt there and make sure it's visible at all times. And follow me.
Sure thing. I take it and I undo the sticker and stick it right on. And I follow along.
Turns the corner, walks down. The one elevator that he needs is clearly, you can see it marked B1, B2, B3. It'll come back up. The red light near the antechamber of your laboratory lights up, signifying that the elevator has descended past the hospital proper, indicating also that whoever is coming obviously has access.
I'm just gonna stop what I'm doing.
What
wash
are
my
you doing,
hands,
by the way?
Probably like elbows deep into a corpse.
Autopsy it is. Or is it chow time?
I think it's food time, or a bit of both. Paperwork, a little fun, pleasure.
All right, so you exit the laboratory, as it were, or the operatory after scrubbing your hands a bit. Still wearing a smock, or just you're taking that off so you're not dragging it through your nice office?
Yeah, just going down to the lab coat.
Right. Hanging the smock up, exiting the operatory. In just about the same time, you can hear the jarring stop of the elevator. The doors creaking and sliding open. You see, of course, Mr. Milliner, Rico, who you remember from the bar and bringing people to your space from time to time, and another one. Have you met Javier? Or Javier,
Briefly.
sorry. So I think you recognize him from the Three Monkeys or you're not sure where, but you recognize him. And Dr. Weiss is with him as well.
Hey, Jude!
You asked for one visitor, but I count more than one.
This is very true, cousin. My apologies, however, certain things have to be addressed, and I feel since this is your domicile and our domain, as it were, we should get everything done with everybody at the same time. If that's okay with you, of course.
I'll look at my watch, and then I will get a little booklet and then start flipping through it. You have an hour.
Your time is always appreciated, cousin. Why don't you take a couple of minutes to get cleaned up, and I'll bring these fine individuals over to the conference area.
To something, and I'll go and clean myself off better. Like I probably have like water with some oils and stuff like that to actually like freshen up.
And why don't you describe yourself for our viewers and our players alike?
Yeah, Jude is a very average individual. He's roughly 6 foot, Caucasian looking, dark hair, slick back, has a mustache and facial hair, but very average, with a distant, kind of dead look in the eyes.
No sooner does he turn to do a little bit of cleanup and you all exit into the antechamber, the doors of the elevator close and it immediately begins to ascend again.
Rico, your phone starts ringing.
Hey, we got a reception down here. Pretty freaking cool.
Well,
Hey,
this
what's
is the
up?
Lich House.
Hey, Holmes. What are you doing right now?
Hanging out in the morgue. Why?
Okay. Matchsticks seem pretty lit, and you wanted me to get something to you really fast.
I like that. Matchstick seemed lit. That was well done. Well played, sir. Okay, so yeah, I'm at the hospital. You know the one.
I'll just go wherever your car is.
Oh no, you're not going to meet me in the car. I'm not going to stay outside. I got stuff going on. So no, go to security and tell them that you got to deliver something to Dr. Jude, St. Germain, and just tell him to page him.
Oh, and have you heard of this guy called Milliner before?
Perhaps.
Okay, because Benny told me I have to talk to him and just kind of like work for him, I guess, or something like that. He wasn't, he's kind of terse.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, come page Dr. St. Germain, and yeah, we'll work this out.
Okay, I'll be right down.
Okay, hold on, Nico.
Okay.
Hey, Milliner.
Yes, Rico.
It appears that Benny and the Jets is sending you an errand boy.
Ah, from your favorite establishment.
Well, it's not a bad place. It's got,
It's not a good place either.
Oh.
I like the monkeys.
I'll tell Sarah that you said that. We'll see what that does.
You are more than welcome to.
Dude, the banter behind you as you feign cleaning up and scrubbing and washing as humans would expect. It drowns your brain. It feels like someone's trying to smother you in a pillow.
All I got out of that is there are more people that I have to deal with tonight.
Only one more, cousin, I assure you. Anybody else, you have full permission to bring them out into public and flog them.
Carlisle?
Yes.
Jax.
Well, she was already en route as it is.
Jax,
Got a full house in your lich house, Jude.
Always a full house down here.
I'm looking to correct that. So hopefully this will be the last time, I assure you, cousin.
So who's the aces and who's the eights?
We're not playing that kind of game, Rico.
Yeah, it's the hand of death.
Everybody please follow me, and I would lead them to an area that is meant for more educational purposes as far as like the mortuary end of things down here.
The room that he takes after you walk through the antechamber and to the left as opposed to the right towards the operatory is a small, again, like a small classroom with a chalkboard on one side, a couple of student-like desks, and a large viewing window that looks into the operatory. For those of you who look, there is a gruesome scene on a table in the middle of the operatory, and on the tray is actually a dinner plate with forks, knives, a champagne flute with some kind of liquid in it that is very scarlet red, and bits and pieces on the plate can be seen. Jacqueline. The nice officer is tapping his foot as the elevator comes back up. You see it back down to the ground floor. It opens. He motions you in right this way.
And I go in and I kind of lean against the elevator, one of the elevator walls. And while the elevator goes about its journey, I look at him.
He doesn't stay in the elevator. He takes a key from his key fob, opens a small panel on the elevator, punches a code, closes it, takes the key out, and says, have a great evening, and briskly turns to exit the elevator as the doors begin to close.
Gotcha. How big is the elevator?
A standard hospital elevator, probably 8 by 8, maybe 12 by 12. It could fit maybe 2 gurneys in there and a handful of people. It's not enclosing. It's not big, but it descends. It doesn't take long for it. It's kind of a rickety ride. Once you descend below the lobby, it feels a little shaky. It's loud. You can hear cables above rattling. You can hear the squeak of brakes as it comes to a abrupt stop at the bottom. Again, Jude, the bell rings. The red light lights up as your elevator once again opens in your space. Turning to look, do you turn or do you just continue doing the scrub, as it were?
I've finished scrubbing, and now I am going to go into by the desk where the corpse is like splayed out, and just kind of lean on it, waiting for everyone to trickle in.
Hey, Jax, the elevator door is open, and there's a kind of an antechamber where there's like a reception desk. It's looks old, but it's all very neat. Things are evenly spaced. Looks like someone took quite the effort to make sure that absolutely everything was where it was supposed to be or meant to be. Books are even evenly spaced on bookshelves. They're not touching each other. They're very arranged. Even the accoutrements on the desk, the lamp looks like it has its own place. The pencil, the pad, the telephone, the one piece of paper that sits on it, it looks like it's been perfectly aligned where it is on the desk. It's very discordant from the free-flowing life of the farm and of the compound. This is strikingly ordered.
I step out quickly from the elevator and I look around, trying to see if Dr. Weiss is around. I even call out, Dr. Weiss?
The doors to the elevator clap shut. There's a red light just above a door that leads somewhere past the antechamber, goes out as the elevator begins to ascend again. When you look in that direction, you see someone. So you have seen Dr. St. Germain before, although maybe not this personal. It was brief. He's past that swinging door in what looks like an operatory of a mortuary, a morgue. And there are feet that you can see on a table. So clearly there's something in there with him. Your brain is quick enough to put together that, oh, right, it's a morgue, he's a doctor, and there's a corpse. You call out for Dr. Weiss. You can hear her, all of you.
Hey, Jax, over here!
And I that's not Dr. Weiss's voice, but I do follow the sound.
It leads you past the door into the operatory, where there's a short hall that leads left and right. To the right is the operatory proper, and to the left, as you look, although looking right, Jude is probably glaring at you.
Hi. Sorry if I'm interrupting something.
You are.
I'm just looking for Dr. Weiss.
Have a seat.
Okay. I sit down.
There's like one stool in the operatory, and it's literally right next to the corpse. As you move towards it, you see the medical tray with a plate, forks, knives, champagne flute with the stain of scarlet. The smell of blood is very fresh. The corpse on the examination table is open. Its chest cavity, the ribs have been splayed open. There seems to be bits and bobs of things that you don't know how to identify, since anatomy wasn't a big thing at the compound. But you've seen dead animals, you've seen dead humans, but it looks like there's stuff missing. And as you look around into the left, you can see into the teacher room, or the kind of classroom, through this big window. There indeed is Dr. Weiss, Rico, Javier, and Carlisle.
I light up at the sight of Dr. Weiss. Finally. Jeez. I'm so glad to find you.
And you could hear Rico when he called out, so clearly there's not, a lot of insulation between these two spaces, so.
Sorry, I forgot about our appointment. Some things came up. You know that's not like me. I apologize.
Is everything okay? I thought for a second that I don't know, I got the times wrong or something. It's really not like you.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
You come across the hall so you're not screaming through a glass pane.
Yeah, I'll go get her.
Before she does that, I'm just gonna say, don't touch anything, and then we'll both walk over.
I actually put my hands like this, like no touching. No touching.
So yeah, Dr. Weiss, you step out. There's Jack's kind of like, oh, and Jude's kind of motioning her towards the viewing room. Luke, doesn't take you long to get from Three Monkeys to the hospital. It's a short jaunt.
Yeah.
This isn't a place that you're not unfamiliar with. It's a hospital like any others. Making your way towards a side entrance, there's a sign that says, at such and such a time, these doors will be locked. Go through emergency room. That time hasn't reached yet, so the side entrance is still open. And there is one person in uniform sitting at a desk that you can see, staring out, chewing on a pencil.
So this is like the receptionist or something? I guess I'll go through the front. I'll go through the door and I'll just walk up.
He kind of straightens up, stops chewing on a pencil. Yeah, sir, how can I help you?
I got a delivery for Jude St. Germain.
He flips a clipboard around with one of those bead chain pins attached to it. Say, sign here and I need your ID.
Sure. Give you like a driver's license, is that good? Like, do you need like a picture of it or like what?
No. You have your ID on you, right?
Yeah, I hear. He goes to his wallet and he gets out his driver's license, making sure to cover up all the stuff that reveals it's probably like 5 years expired.
He takes a cursory glance at it. What's your name, sir?
Luke Lennox.
All right, Luke, sign the roster for me, please. As he pulls out one of those visitor badges, jots down.
He puts down his name, and he's like, "Yeah. So do I keep this? Do I give this back to you? Like, what's the deal?"
You can throw it away when you leave.
Okay.
He quickly jots.
You know where he is, or anything? Like,
yeah, it seems to be popular tonight. Follow me.
Gotcha.
He hands you the visitor badge. Wear that on your chest there, and don't take it off until you leave, please.
Oh yeah. I mean, okay.
Right this way. He walks down around the corner, hits the button for the elevator. The doors open. He motions you in, and again he kind of half steps into the elevator, turning towards the panel, inserting a key, opening a door, pushing a couple of buttons. He closes it, takes the key, and 180s pirouetting out and walks away from the elevator.
Thanks, man.
He gives you one of those over the head waves. The doors close and it again descends. Once again, go ahead.
Luke just kind of gets as far away from the door as he can. He kind of gets into the corner, just kind of waiting to see what the heck's going on. He doesn't like the fact that you have to put a key in to open this floor. It seems suspicious to him.
That's fair. That's very fair. Jude, again, the bell rings, the red light turns on, as yet your office is intruded again. It's a short 3 floors below the main floor. The doors open after the jarring stop of the elevator at the very bottom of its descent. And you walk in to an antechamber. There's a small desk there. Again, same description as before. It is excessively ordered.
I move forward my nose. I kind of go.
Oh. Are we using any kind of heightened senses?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Our first die roll other than a rouse check. If you would kindly roll wits and awareness, please.
Gotcha. That will be 4 successes.
4 successes. There are at least 7 clearly identifiable scents of persons. One of which definitively is a decaying corpse.
Fuck. What did Benny get me into this time? Shit.
Looking around and through, you see the swing door into the operatory, and there is a Jude St. Germain in his red lab coat, whom you remember from the 3 Monkeys.
Do I see Rico?
No.
Fuck. Okay. I wave to Jude, and I just start walking to say hi to him or get what's going down. Hey Jude, sorry to intrude on your stuff, but Rico told me it's the best place to come.
Have you grown a spine yet? This is not for the lighthearted.
What are you talking about? I mean,
the faint of heart.
As you say, what are you talking about, and are looking about the operatory, again, the scene is there's an open corpse with what looks like a dinner tray next to it, bits and pieces of this or that on the tray, champagne flute with what's left of some red coagulating fluid, and a very annoyed looking Jude St. Germain. Looking left or right, you'll notice there's a small hall that separates the operatory from a viewing room where you see plenty of faces that you've seen in and out of the 3 Monkeys.
Well, I got enough spine for this. I mean, I've eaten roadkill once or twice, but I mean, do you usually eat them like this? Do you have to, or?
Well, I'm sorry. Everyone, and I'll say this loudly, not say that I'm not hospitable, be welcome to a meal.
I'll just take the stuff in the glass, I guess.
I didn't bring my fapa beans. I'm sorry, it wouldn't be the same.
Jude, he literally reaches to take your champagne flute and decides he's going to drink whatever was in it.
If you don't have iron gullet, you're in for a bad time.
Can I detect that this is bad just based on smell, just from smelling it, or?
You have your heightened senses. It smells like blood. It smells like body in here. When you go into the operatory, it almost overwhelms your sense of scent with all the different chemicals, the different bodily fluids, the everything is open to the air and probably has been for several hours by the magnitude of the odor. And even as you lift his champagne flute to your nose or to your lips, the scent's even stronger. What exactly is he drinking, Jude?
It's dead, very coagulated blood.
Okay, so it's like drinking cottage cheese that tastes exactly the way blood should taste. Although it's cooled and coagulated.
He takes like a sip of it and he's like, I don't think I have the taste for this, but I appreciate the hospitality. So I see Rico's here. Do you know a guy named Milliner?
Hey, Jude, over here, buddy. Or sorry, Luke, come on over.
Oh shit! Hey, Holmes. He walks over to Rico and kind of tries to hand him off a small package, like not like he's trying to hide it, but he doesn't like bring attention to it.
So Luke turns left, going down the very short hallway and into the viewing room. Luke, if you would kindly describe yourself to our players and our viewers.
Sure. Luke is like a pretty small guy, 5'6" about-ish. He's got his hair slicked back, cover up a bald spot. He moves with his nose forward, and he's like, his eyes are always moving around. He's kind of fidgety. And he's just wearing like a dark, like really heavy kind of sweatshirt with some fur on the collar. His Three Monkeys uniform shirt and some jeans, but otherwise he just looks like kind of a just generally greasy dude you'd find in any dive bar. Yeah, this is what I told you about on the phone.
Hey, thanks. Hey, hola, Capitan. Here's your new boy.
The new boy.
It clicks to you that Mr. Milliner is that guy.
Mr. Milliner, it's a pleasure to meet you. Benny told me that I should be at your service when I can.
To be at my service when you can.
Yes.
Any other particulars that Penny did not happen to pass on to me in person?
No, nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort.
Is this part of a favor, or?
The thing is, he tends to just text me or talk to me for like 5 minutes and tells me to fuck off. So I didn't get the details. I'm sorry. I really am.
Well, you seem to be a primary example of this evening's topic of discussion. Please have a seat.
Of
everyone.
Thank you.
Please get comfortable.
Yeah, he sits down at the table near the dead person.
No, so we're talking about two separate rooms, Luke. So imagine you came through, the elevator opens into like a welcome room with a simple desk. There's like a single couch in there for people to sit as they wait. There's a small coffee table, a couple of bookshelves. There's a swinging door that separates it from the operatory that has a small hallway that goes right and left. Right opens into the operatory proper, left goes into a viewing room that looks a lot like a classroom with all of the persons except for Jude in it. You can see a very large window that overlooks into the operatory.
Okay, he'll take a seat and just kind of look around, keep his eyes peeled, see what's going on. Maybe, just look around.
Once everyone's in there, I'm gonna mingle with everyone as much as I don't want to.
So, I appreciate everybody showing up, those invited and uninvited. Just to give you a quick heads up, as of late, it seems that this hospital is turning into the island of misfit toys. I want to let everybody know that's not the case. Just to let you know, we are not the Anarchs. We are not the Camarilla. Personally, I might dress snappy. I might come off as having a very good vernacular, but I'm just in charge of legal here. My cousin behind you is the individual who presides over this domain. We are running said hospital, and I don't know if there's like a blinking light outside that says Kindred, drop your shit and fucking park out in the parking lot, but that's not how this flies over here. So let's get down to business. I don't care where you came from, but if you are going to reside in our domain, we have a couple of rules. One, you will respect that individual in that red coat over there. What he says goes. He is God. I even answer to him. If he tells you not to touch anything, you don't touch anything.
He mentions that, pointing at Jude in the red lab coat. That man
Awkwardly
is
smile.
God as he cocks this weird grin. So many words come out of memory. So many times have you heard these exact same words the entire time you were growing up, only to find out that they were an absolute lie.
2, we do respect at least 2 of the traditions here. 1, what some like to call a masquerade. You draw any unwanted attention here, you will be answering to either myself or the god in question over there. 3, the domain. This is our domain, and you shall respect it as thus. If you have any issues with that, you're more than welcome to come to me. Now, for accountability purposes, we do have employees at this hospital and contractors who have been already predetermined of their reasoning here. Up until that point, it seems there's been a steady stream of individuals lining up to inhabit, even if you're not looking for a job, just coming to this particular area. And based off of the actions that have happened previously here in this past year, we're not looking to draw attention. So, I think we should go around really quick. I'm sure everybody here doesn't fully know each other. You can introduce yourselves. State your purpose. Because I'm not any kind of prince. This isn't Elysium, but I want to know what the fuck you're doing in my backyard.
Well, boss, you know why I'm here. You know, I do what you tell me to do. I drive stuff around. I'm your transportation guy, you know, and nobody fucking touches Rosalina unless I say otherwise. You touch my fucking car, you fucking break your hand. Unless you're allowed. Like, you know, Dr. Weiss, she respects the car. She's more than welcome to, you know, caress Rosalina.
I understand that, Rico. This is more for everybody else's 411.
I'm his transportation.
I'm Luke. Benny sent me here, so I guess I'm kind of like Rico in terms of what I'm here to do. I totally respect y'all's stuff. I'm not gonna feed here or anything. I'm usually around the 3 monkeys, so yeah. I mean, I'm there with Miss Strong, and yeah. I just don't want to cause any trouble. I'm just here to be at Mr. Milliner's service, and that's it. Nothing.
So Luke, when you go back on shift, you make certain you tell Sarah that Mr. Milliner doesn't think much of the 3 monkeys.
I mean, I don't think much of the 3 monkeys either.
My God, it's a friggin' convention.
I'll think about that.
But I don't think Luke has the testicular fortitude to tell Sarah that to her face.
Luke, do you have no cojones? What? Come on, man.
Rico, I assure you, if it really presses you that much, I could set up a conference call between the three of us, and I shall inform her myself. Savvy?
All good. All good, boss.
Thank you.
I like the three monkeys.
Oh, I'm glad. We really. I'll be glad to transmit that to her.
She serves my favorite sleepy time tea.
I'm Jax. I don't really know what's going on. I was just supposed to be here to see Dr. Weiss. And for purpose, I'm actually trying to figure that out for myself.
Next, what's an awareness, please?
It's an awareness. Okay. Two successes.
As you mention Dr. Weiss and look at her, she seems off more than usual. Something's on her mind.
Am I sitting close by her? Like within touching distance?
I would imagine you would have taken a seat near her.
So I'm gonna reach over and put a hand on her lap. Are you sure you're okay? You seem kind of off.
Fine for the moment.
We can do it again.
She probably doesn't want to spread her personal affairs in front of everyone.
Here in the classroom.
That's understandable.
Teach them something.
Although I'm actually very glad that you're here, Jax.
Me?
Yes. One of the especially 3 wayward souls. 2 of 3 isn't bad for the night.
Wayward soul. That's one way to put it, I suppose.
For unfortunate souls.
Wayward Souls triggers the memory of actually watching the imps form from your own shadows, tearing Ezekiel White's soul into tiny pieces.
Look, I'm just here trying to figure things out and get on my own 2 feet and just fit in the best that I can. It's been rough.
I'm here to show you how to fit in.
Also, what is with the God nonsense? I'm sorry, but we're not God.
That is something that...
That's just a reference. Just giving everybody a heads up. He's in charge of this place.
Think of it as... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Javier, what's an awareness, please?
It's okay. If he's God, we're children of a lesser God. It's all good.
No. Think of it as this is an old school, like the mob. Like right now, like I'm the acting head.
Either Don or the capo.
What's up?
Dice hat keeps crashing. Sorry.
Well, it's really just meant to get a point across. That's all.
Yeah. He's in charge. He's the head guy.
Okay. I mean, I've seen you around here and there. I'm not too familiar with what you do, and I didn't know you were even in charge of something like this, whatever this is. What is this?
It's a hospital.
I meant like this other part.
It's a
Jacqueline,
family operation.
A dark voice pops. I got you 5 successes.
And a crit.
A dark voice pops in the back of your head as Dr. Weiss quips up, condescending bitch. Javier, as Jacqueline's face changes as she talking with these individuals, you do notice the darkness gathering around her. Slowly, creepingly at first. But as Dr. Weiss is a little condescending to her, it intensifies noticeably.
Yeah, think of this as a family affair. And, it's an operation for, what do you prefer? Vampires, kindred, family?
Family. This family. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Gotcha.
Abigail's voice echoes. We had a family once. The vision of her throat slit open by the Archon, dropping to her knees at the feet of the Prophet.
Dr. Weiss does squeeze Jax's hand a little bit. In this kind of playful assurance.
And I squeeze back and I look at her and I say, is this a family you trust?
Trust is earned. I don't know exactly what this family is about. Trust is not a part of this right now.
Javier, you had something?
Yeah, I roused the blood for Oblivion Sight. I did not get hungry.
Strangely.
Hey, Jax, it's not about trust. It's more about being a really useful tool. Right, Doc? The more useful you are,
get the toys.
The good tools get used.
Tools, gods. You guys sure like to throw those words around a lot.
Call it respect. We're not looking to indoctrinate anybody in this. Myself and my two cousins here do have business to conduct at this hospital. The other staff here have their purposes. Anyone else that wishes to join, we don't have a problem with inserting people into certain spots, and of course, in turn, be serving a purpose. However, we're also not looking to build an ivory tower or build a revolution. I just want to get that clear.
I've heard that phrase before too.
It's with Camarilla, Jax. They're different factions.
We try not to get political.
I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear that because I don't like what happened 6 months ago.
Javier, as you activate Oblivion Sight, anyone looking at you, thankfully, can't see your eyes become onyx. The whites and scleras disappearing from behind the glasses. If it's spirits you wanted to see, you are certainly in the right place. You can see several of them struggling as if they were alive in the lockers. The drawers of the morgue, the operatory just beyond the window, you can see them struggling in their confined space, mouths screaming out silently. You can even see one hovering near the one in the operatory, the recently deceased. The bodily motions seem to be that of sobbing. There's the involuntary reflex of muscles as one cries at the realization that that's their body. That's their organs on that plate. and there are more than one shadows hovering on, in, or near Jacqueline, CJ, Saint Germain, even Dr. Weiss.
What happened 6 months ago needed to happen. The coat rack got what he deserved.
The coat rack?
Yeah, it seems that name keeps popping up, which we'll be having a quick conversation about that, Javier, very soon. However, I just wanted to get this summed up. So, the individual in the hat and shades here is my other cousin, Javier Grillo. And the majority of you should by now know the good, obviously popular Dr. Janet Weiss, who works in our psychiatry department. So, now that we all know each other, and we all know the ground rules, let's try to keep this as political less and problem less as possible.
You know what? I'll start and clear out the air. Javier, do you have any resentment towards any special members of the family?
I have no resentment. I'm not interested in family politics. There are a few select individuals worthy of my ire, but other than that,
to come clean, I believe my line is responsible vastly for yours' decline.
Yeah, Javi. This motherfucker you've been looking for years. You found him. Here he sits in a tomb of his own making. The fuck you waiting for, eh? Come on, F.A.
It's gonna be a problem now. Let's take care of it now.
I have no problem at the moment.
Jude, what's an awareness, please? He's lying. At least you think he is.
Well, that's fantastic to hear, Javier, because I actually came up with a little task for you to prove your loyalty to the family. You see, I don't trust somebody that comes out of the woodwork and just decides, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z in your home, and I don't know a fucking thing about you. So, I had a situation earlier that I'm not going to go into pristine detail with my colleague, Dr. Weiss here, and there is an individual, if you are able to, I don't know, exercise this thing out and possibly handle it as you see fit. I could see us to having a nice quick conversation with Jude here, and we can get this whole loyalty thing straightened out. How does that sound?
Bien to me.
Carlisle and Dr. Weiss, composure and resolve, please.
Sure.
I just need to know how far you are away from 4. Javier, I gave you a brand new set of dice. You got no excuse. Okay. So, the rest of you, a simple wits and awareness, please.
would my enhanced senses come and help with this, or no?
Not necessary. But you
Okay.
can absolutely add that in if you want to go psychedelic vision on us.
Of Oregon.
And yes, Luke, I've been trying to fiddle with the settings to get your video to stop doing that.
Sorry. It's trying to hold perfectly still.
How many successes?
4.
All right, so if you had 2 or more successes, you will notice that CJ and Dr. Weiss exchange an intense glance for the briefest of blink moments. Janet's got a tear of blood forming in the corner of one of her eyes. CJ's forehead betrays a bit of consternation as he talks about something happened.
Oh, Dr. Weiss, your eyes.
I'm sorry.
Grab a piece of cloth and kind of just like toss it at her and say, "Don't bleed on my floor."
Again, we're not here for politics, and I refuse to have the, as some like to call it, spectacular, I prefer to call it a spectacle, bleed into our domain, no pun intended. So, there is apparently a spirit by the surname of Kovac that I would like for you to handle accordingly. Is that going to be a problem, Javier?
This I can do.
You doing a seance?
You'll see.
Cool.
A spirit, you said?
Yes. Spirit, Geist, some call them wraiths.
Do we have anything of this whatever?
Yes, I do require a token.
He would turn to Janet. Do you happen to have anything? Or know where anything is located? So we'll be able to handle this individual and put his transgressions past.
Squeeze Jax's hand very firmly.
And there's actually a necklace around her neck with a sigil, and she touches it. I do. I take it off. I didn't know he was still lingering to it, if that's the case, and I hand it over.
Apparently he is. Takes it, he folds it up. He brings it over to Javier.
His name is
Gracias.
Ezekiel White.
Hello, my name is Trevor Chapman, and I play Rico Suede on Prince William by Night, The Night Shift. I'm here to remind you that your mental health is a very important thing. We all have problems, and I do mean all of us. I personally have suffered from both clinical depression and suicidal ideation. Sometimes it can be hard to share our issues because we don't want to burden other people, or we're too afraid or ashamed of the things we have done or the feelings that we have to even try to reach out to other people. But friends and family are here for a reason. They would much rather hear that something is happening in your life and help you with it than to find out too late that they didn't even know and they couldn't even try. If you feel that you can't talk to your friends or family, there are other resources available for you to talk to. Please take advantage and reach out to them. There is no need for you to go through this alone. We all need help sometimes. There is absolutely no reason to feel ashamed or afraid to ask for assistance, especially if you need it right now. If you or someone you know is in crisis, whether they are considering suicide or not, please call the toll-free lifeline at 800-273-TALK to speak with a trained crisis counselor 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline connects you with a crisis center within the Lifeline network that is closest to your location. Your call will be answered by a trained crisis worker who will listen empathetically and without judgment. The crisis worker will work to ensure you feel safe and identify options and information about mental health services in your area. Your call is completely confidential and free. Again, that number is 800-273-8255. If you are unable, unsure, or prefer not to speak in person, text the word NAMI to 741-741 to connect with a trained crisis counselor to receive free 24/7 crisis support via text message. You are not alone. Trained expert advocates are available 24/7 to provide confidential support to anyone experiencing domestic violence or seeking resources or information. Help is available in Spanish as well as other languages. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline toll-free at 800-799-SAFE. Again, that is 800-799-7233. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, help is available. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline toll-free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 800-656-HOPE. Again, that is 800-656-4673. You will be connected with a trained staff member from a sexual assault service provider in your area that offers access to a range of free services. For the Disaster Distress Helpline, call 800-985-5990 or text the word TALK with us to 66746. This helpline provides immediate crisis counseling for people who are experiencing emotional distress due to any natural or human-caused disaster. This multilingual, confidential, and free helpline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, call 800-985-5990 or text TALK with us to 66746.